Hi, good morning, everybody. It's Ann from Capozzi Design Group in Chagrin Falls, Ohio on Ask the Experts this morning. I am here with Rob and Robin from Signature Home Services in Texas, as well as Bill from Ballard Home Services outside of St. Louis. So they can tell you more about themselves. So why don't we start with Bill?
Good morning. Bill here, Bill Wilson with Ballard Home Services. Just as Ann said, just outside of St. Louis. We're actually in the Illinois side, but we do service the St. Louis metro area as well. But we've been in business for over 25 years. I've personally grown up in and around the business other than my time in the military, which I spent 26 years between active duty and the National Guard. I retired as a Chief Master Sergeant. I always like to tell people what that means to you is really just that I know how to give an order, but I also know how to take an order. So I take an order from you, the homeowner, and I give it to the folks out in the field. And I'm glad to answer any questions here.
Robin?
Want to go first?
All right, since I'm the better half. I'm Robin Burrell with Signature Home Services. I'm a registered interior designer with the state of Texas. And as they say here in Texas, I got here as fast as I could. I have been here for quite a long time now, more than the time I spent in Virginia growing up. And I have been an interior designer, let's just say longer than Bill has been in the field, and we'll just leave it at that. But it is a bright and beautiful day here in Keller, Texas, which is north of Fort Worth.
My name is Rob Matthews, also with Signature Home Services. I am a certified remodeler through the National Association of Remodeling. Very much like Bill, I've been in this for quite a few years, 25 years now. I was in the United States Marine Corps, and I was crash fire rescue for the Presidential Helicopter Squadron. And I guess our motto was hurry up, get there and wait, and look pretty doing it.
Great. Again, I am Ann from Capozzi Design Group, located in Chagrin Falls, Ohio. I'm a certified kitchen designer, CAP certified, as well as CLIP certified for living in place. So I think we are ready to get started this morning. We've got some great questions. So the first one looks like it is for Robin. And Robin, the question is, what are things that I can do to refresh my home without spending a lot of money?
Okay, that one's probably coming because people have been in their homes quite a bit, and it's spring and you want everything nice and beautiful. I would just say some really low cost items would be changing out the pillows, like on the sofas, the chairs, maybe even just going out and buying new lampshades, or if you have the money, actually going out and replacing lamps. Nowadays, they're fairly inexpensive. You don't have to spend a lot of money. The same thing if you're kind of handy, just changing out some light fixtures in the house, because there's some great deals out there right now, especially if they're open box. And then I would say another item that you could purchase would be rugs. If you wanted to change out rugs to give a room a completely new look. And then just accessories. If you want to pull out some of your old accessories and put in some fresh, bright new colors for spring, yellows, oranges, greens, pinks, just the really bright colors to brighten up your home. Those are just some really inexpensive ways that you can change the look.
Great.
And you do that like every other month.
Not quite.
Of course you do.
Experiments.
Yeah, we got to keep things fresh.
Yeah.
Right? And it's always interesting because every year there are new colors that come out, right? That through color forecasting that as designers we're made well aware of. So that really helps. And as some people do not realize, but I know Robin does because she's really in the thick of this, is that as we learn of the color trends, that those color trends, you start to see them in every area, from paint to fabrics to clothing.
Mm-hmm.
It's always
and carpet.
And carpet,
Floor tiles, everything, cabinetry, yeah.
everything.
Clothing. Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, Bill. So we have a question here. It says, how do I maintain hardwood floors?
Very simply, if they're put in correctly and you start out with a good base. So if you have a good clean installation with a product, most products today are urethane based products, easy to maintain. Now there are some oil finishes that I won't talk about today. Maybe that's a topic for another day. But if we're looking at a urethane finish, not the old wax, not some of the new oils that are penetrating oils, really just a urethane finish. It's simply just a daily sweep or dust mop. Make sure that you use a clean dust mop. Don't use something that you clean the furniture with or something like that. We don't want any polish. So just a daily sweeping, a weekly vacuuming with a no brush or no attachments other than just a soft bristle. And then what we do is monthly, we recommend a product by Bona. It's a very green cleaner, and you use that once a month. And then once or twice a year, we actually come out and we'll professionally clean. We have a process, it's the Dirt Dragon, right? So we're gonna come in and bring in a professional cleaning system. Immediately you can walk on the floor. And what that's gonna do is help remove some of the contaminants that are just natural from the bottoms of your feet. You know, the pets that you have, they bring in, you know, some of the things from outside that we don't want, you know. So those are the things that we recommend. And then every 3 to 5 years, we recommend at least an evaluation, a consultation to look at the wear and tear on the finish. And we want to make sure that it's intact and we don't have any concerns there. If we do, we might do a recoat, and then every 10 years, you might consider a refinishing. So real simple, maintaining daily through all the way through every decade.
And Bill, you can get that Bona from pretty much anywhere, right? Like some of the big box stores.
Yeah, you can purchase that just about anywhere. You can purchase it online if you're someone that likes to have it delivered to your home. Just make sure that it's hardwood floor cleaner. Make sure you, first of all, make sure you know what type of floors that you have, what type of finish. But then make sure that there are 2 products that people get confused with that are on the market. One is Bona hardwood floor cleaner. That's the one we want. The other is for kind of a wax or a polish. You don't want to put any wax or polish, but definitely no Murphy's oil soap. It used to be vinegar and water was kind of the trick, but we found that it's very acidic and it actually etches the finish. And over time, you'll have some problem. No steam. I didn't mention that. A lot of folks like to use steam cleaners. That will eventually etch that finish and you'll get very pitted looking floors.
Terrific. Wow, that's an education. Very good. So I have a question on the Bona. You said it's a very green product. Is that true for a lot of the cleaners, Bill? Or what is it about, I guess, the Bona too that you like? I mean, I love that it's green. I'm very health conscious and I make sure that I use cleaners that are non-toxic. So is there something about the Bona?
It's just in the products and in the ingredients, if you will, that they use. Obviously, they don't go into great details with it, but they make sure that it meets all of the green certifications and so forth, even in their finishes. That's why we recommend their finishes, just very, very green. A lot of companies do advertise that they are green, but they don't have the green certification label, which is a different thing that you guys probably know a little bit better about. But there are other products. I just don't know of any that I would recommend over the Bona.
Great. Yeah. Rob, we have a question for you. It says, what are the things I need to look for in spring repairs?
Spring repairs. So we.
A new kitchen?
That's a bit much, but I'm thinking that this is more for maintenance and maintaining after some people have a harsh winter like Anne, and we have a kind of a minor winter, but I would say some of the things that would really help before you get too far into the spring are things like gutter cleaning, Restaining your decks and finishes, especially here in Texas where it gets to be so hot. And if you don't have a composite style deck, you have actual wood. Even though it's pressure treated, it still needs to be protected. So restaining of decks and fences. And that kind of leads me into the other things you can do is pressure wash your house, pressure wash the windows, get up into the eaves, knock all those wasp nests out that are starting to emerge. And then, of course, before you do restain your deck or your fence, you definitely want to use a pressure washer on that and get all the dirt out of it. I could go on and on with some of other types of repairs for getting ready for spring, but looking for wood rot around doors and windows, especially at the bottom of doors, exterior doors, the bottom of your garage doors, things like that.
Okay, perfect. Great. So I have a question that looks like it's for me. It says, I want to update my kitchen without spending a lot of money. I'm thinking a great way to save money is to paint the cabinets. So that's an interesting question. So here's what I would say here in Northeast Ohio. My first question would be, how long are you staying in your home? Is this a long-term investment or is this a short-term investment? Because if you're looking at sprucing up the kitchen and you're going to be changing countertops probably to granite or quartz and adding a backsplash, those cabinets are going to stay there a long, long time. And a painted finish coming from a factory will last much longer than a painted finish done in your home. So the factories can actually bake on the finish, and the finishes that are done in the home aren't, they can't last quite as long because those are sprayed on. So there are also different chemicals that are used, depending on whether it's done in a shop, again, environment, or if it's done in whether it's in the home or, in your garage or what have you. And there are other considerations, I think, that go along with that, right? Because is it a dust-free environment? There's a lot of preparation. If you really want a finish to last, a painted finish to last, there's a lot of preparation in getting those doors and those frames ready for paint. So there's still a significant investment. So I think the first question needs to be, are you staying in the home or is this for resale? If this is shorter term for resale, that's definitely something to take a look at. I personally feel if this is a long-term investment, you need to really consider replacing those cabinets so they have a warranty on them. And as we know, anything with paint is, because of what that finish is more susceptible to chipping than a stained finish would be. Anybody have anything to add on that?
I'd say that, let's say you've already got the granite there and you did it 15 years ago, and you've got that old world look that was so popular in the, what are we calling it, the aughts. And I would say, okay, painting would be a great option. Don't you agree, Anne? And then maybe even, because changing out countertops can be a big expense, but just changing out, like, the beautiful backsplash that you have there, changing that out, and you can spend a little bit extra money on that backsplash because there's not a lot of it, and give it that really big wow, and pull out maybe some of the colors that aren't so dating to pop that kitchen. And
Yeah.
lighting can be huge too, because back then we were using a lot of I'll say yellow covers on the lights, and it just gave off a really weird look.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with you on that. Another thing I feel like, consider in that is if you could pull something out in the backsplash you're saying, then do we have an option to look at updating if the cabinets are painted, or excuse me, if they're stained? There are also some beautiful new colors out there. If you paint the cabinets, and let's say you have other woodwork, there are some great grays out there that look really nice with that dated woodwork that we're talking about. So you can still tie it in really nice. And I've seen some of those grays work really well to kind of tone that down.
And also cabinet hardware. You
Yeah.
can add that bling. Yeah.
That's a great place to put it. It's definitely the jewelry that totally changed the look of the kitchen.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
I have a design question, I guess. You know, a lot of folks I see now are having two different colors. We may have even talked about this, but you know, an island one color and cabinets different color and so forth. Upper cabinets versus lower, and vice versa and so forth. Is something like that a project where you could say, hey, maybe you could, if all you're going to do is change the island cabinets, would you say, yeah, go ahead and paint that? Rather than replace, or is there still some different things you would recommend?
And go ahead.
Oh, okay. I mean, it doesn't matter. So I would say, absolutely, you can paint the island. It's a great way to freshen things up. It can change so much. And then again, it is kind of these layers that you're creating, right? So you change the island color. Again, looking at, depending on what the budget is, if we can change out the countertop, or you're just freshening up the backsplash. The good news is there are some great, again, these newer paint colors that really can take something that is 20 years old and update it so it's fresh and new, and it really breathes new life into the space. What do you think, Robin?
Yeah, I was just thinking about our own kitchen, and we built the cabinets and did them, 15 years ago, and they're not in bad shape, but we've got kind of that dark old world looking kitchen with the golds, and I am thinking about doing that exact same thing that Bill just asked about, the two-tone, the lighter up on top and the darker on the bottom, and changing out the backsplash. So yeah.
We're doing a kitchen right now where all the perimeter cabinets are white and the island is navy blue.
Mm-hmm.
So it adds that pop, and we did the vent hood to match the island, so that really is going to pop.
I love that. I can't wait to see it. I love the navy. I think it is so fresh and clean with white. So I'll be very excited to see that. At what phase are you in that project?
Appliances go in this week?
Yep, appliances, they just finished hardwood floors throughout the whole house. Appliances will be going in end of the week, and we ought to be finishing up that project end of next week. Yeah, probably next week. I mean, today's Saturday, so week after next.
Excellent. I'm excited. I can't wait to see the finished pictures on that. I'm sure it's going to be beautiful. Terrific. Okay, so let's circle back around. We have just about 10 minutes left. So I guess this kind of is a great question for Robin that ties into what we're talking about, and that is gray and white still in, and will they stay in?
Well, gray and white has been in for a while. And the problem that I see is that now the new homes and some of the people, when they move into a new home, are completely, let's say, gray washing it. Everything suddenly turns gray and white. And I think definitely in 10 years, you're going to know exactly when that was done. White cabinets have always been in, no matter where you are. And I think different areas of the country are probably a little bit different. You know, in the Northeast and the Northwest, white cabinets have been big. Here in Texas, stained wood has always been super popular. But then, of course, if you're in an area, let's say the big cities, Chicago, LA, Seattle, DC, Boston, DC, Miami, you're typically in a much more contemporary look because you've got younger people that live in those big cities. And so I think you have to look at what is being done in your city. But most of all, I think you just need to go with what you like. And if you like gray and white, then go gray and white, knowing that in another couple of years you may have to change the color. But I would say your best bet would be more to go to a grayish, because Ann and I even went to market here in Dallas in January, and it wasn't gray and white that we were seeing. It was lots and lots of color. So I think that, you just need to do what you feel is comfortable and not worry about the trends.
I would agree with that. Bill, I have a question for you, and it's actually not on here, but I'm going to ask you because it's similar to what we're talking about with Robin. So I hope that's okay. So my question is, when you're probably seeing the same trends that we are, right? We still have a lot of white and gray. So when it comes to flooring, especially I'm really curious, when you're refinishing hardwood flooring, are you seeing people really change the tone, or is a lot of it natural? Could you talk a little bit about that? I think it ties in well with the subject.
Okay, so I tend to talk a lot. Rob, quiet, please. But so it's a very fun topic for me is refinishing hardwood floors. So we live in the Midwest. We have a lot of newer homes in our area. So St. Louis is a little bit more older homes, and I think it depends on the age of your home and what you're working with. So older homes, they tend to be more of a natural or extremely dark, right? So homes built in the early 1900s were really dark floors or really light natural floors. Where we live, it's a newer community. A lot of those 1990 homes or those 2000 homes, and a lot of orange, a lot of what we call butterscotch colors, right? Orange oaky colors. And folks are refinishing those floors. They immediately want to see gray, right? They haven't seen it, and now they want gray in their home. So they want to see gray. So we take them through a process of actually trying to bring in all their design ideas, right? Because the floors are very impactful. So we show colors on the floor, but when they typically see the gray on the floor, on an oak floor, they don't really, it's a penetrating stain, remember, so it doesn't actually coat the floor, it actually penetrates, so it takes or soaks it into the wood a little bit differently. So we don't see a lot of gray on a stained floor. Now we do have some, there's about 8 new colors from Duraseal that are in the gray family, but really not a gray color. We're seeing typically more of the cappuccinos, the dark walnut, the warmer colors, the warmer tones. That's really what we're seeing. A lot of not extremely dark like a ebony color, like a painted on stain, but more of those mid-range browns. And what we found, and I don't know how you guys would be able to help me here, we found that gives you the opportunity to do a lot of different things with your home, your cabinets, your trim, your doors, and things like that. So we're really seeing mid-range to darker browns.
Now, I have a question, and this will go both to Bill and to Ann. Aren't you seeing a lot more matte, or let's say a low luster shine on cabinetry and floors? You're both shaking your head.
Yes.
One of you going to talk?
Yes, we are. In fact, we're getting ready to install a countertop with a matte finish. So a quartz composite countertop with a matte finish, and absolutely yes. I feel like we've done matte cabinetry here for quite a while when it comes to our contemporary, because we do quite a bit of, when it comes to our contemporary, we've worked with that matte finish for a while, but absolutely on countertops, and now I'm seeing it coming more into even our transitional spaces where we're using more of the matte finishes.
And Bill,
yeah, and absolutely on the floors.
Yeah.
Yeah. we typically see 3 different sheen levels. I mean, there's some other ones, but they're typically fall into 3. You have satin, semi-gloss, and then high gloss. I can't tell you the last time I did a high gloss floor. It's probably been 15, 20 years. Most of the time it's semi-gloss or matte. And right now we're probably 90% matte or satin finishes on our floors.
Those high gloss ones, you can kind of think of a bowling alley, the bowling lanes, how glossy those things are.
Yeah, so I think we've done one bowling alley in 15 years, if that was the case. Yeah. There's a lot of things that high gloss, it acts as a magnifier. So you tend to see scratches a lot more, the dust and things like that. It's a more of a maintenance sheen level than the satin finishes are.
Personally, I like that really natural, unfinished look that is coming out in a lot of the hardwood floors now. And is that easier to maintain, Bill?
Yeah, I think you're talking about kind of like the oil rubbed finishes that we talked about. The
wax. Yeah.
The wax. The wax is a little bit different product than the oil, but really oil finishes, penetrating oils are phenomenal. Super easy to maintain for nicks and scratches. You can do it yourself. Really neat product. A little bit more difficult, so it's on the higher end of the budget, but yeah, it's definitely a trend right now.
Yeah, I think it makes a huge impact in the house.
And one last question that relates to this. So that oil finish, is that a greener finish on that floor? Can you just speak to that before we wrap up, Bill?
Yeah, it depends on which type of oil finish you do, but most are natural products, seed oil and things of like that. So 100% green.
I love that.
And it would be a lot more family friendly too, with the dogs and the kids and the grandkids and husbands.
Whatever.
Terrific. Well, I think that about wraps up our 30 minutes. This was great. Thank you so much for spending time together. I think it was really informative and a great morning. So thank you all.
Thank you, Ann.
Yep. Thanks, guys. Stay safe. Stay indoors if that's what you want to do. But if you do go out, stay safe.
We will look forward to seeing everyone next week.
Yes. Oh, if you want to contact any of us.
Yes.
So for us, we're on social media. I'm probably more so than Rob, so you can find us there and DM us. Also at signaturehomeservices.com. And our website has our phone number on there. And Ann, how can we get a hold of you?
Thanks, Robin. So you can reach me as well at through our website, CapozzieDesignGroup.com. You can reach out on social media. You'll find us on Facebook, Instagram, and all the social channels as well. And we would be happy to speak with you about anything. We all love chatting about all the lovely things we can do.
Okay, and you guys can reach me, Bill, at Valor Home Services. You can do that through our website. That's kind of our hub. So valorhomeservices.com, or you can email me directly at bill@valorhomeservices.com. Either one, very quick and easy for you. We're also on social. You can give us a call as well. So check us out on the web.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thanks. Have a great day.
Have a great day.